A Desafinado chord melody guitar lesson has been on your wish list for quite some time now. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but here it finally is. Hi my dear jazz friendlings all over the world, Sandra, Sherman here. Greetings from Austria. Desafinado is a beautiful Latin jazz standard, and I'll guide you through the chords note by note and show you how to combine them with the melody. I've made tabs and a backing tracks with a track which you can download from one of the links down below in the description box. Please read the short download instructions right next to the link. Alright, first here's a complete playthrough of Desafinado. Desafinado has a pretty long and unusual song form. We have an A1 section, which is 16 bars long, an A2 section of only 12 bars, and a B and a C section of both 20 bars. So we have a total of 68 bars. That's a lot to do, so let's dig right in. Alright, here are the first 8 bars. We start with the F major chord. Actually, this song starts exactly the same way Girl from Ipanema starts. F major, G7, and then the 2-5-1 in major, except for the one is missing in Desafinado. So we start with the F major 7, and I fret it like this. You could also fret it like this, but this has a huge advantage. This is 1, 2, 2, 1. The A string is not being played. I start with the bass, and then the upper 3 follow. Sometimes you also see me, actually a lot of times you see me do this. So I play the bass and then all 4 in an arpeggiated way. Now I need to go over to the 3rd of the B string. That's the D. And that's better to do with your thumb. It's tricky though to fret, but if you do it like this, you need to remove your pinky and you lose that A. It's okay. It's almost not audible, but now you go over to an inversion. I have a video on inversions. Check out my chords playlist. That's F major 7 with the 3rd in bass. 5, 3, 5, 5 of the same 4 strings. Then I go to the 6th, play the 6th, fret, go back, all strings, and out a third of the B string. In order to do that, I need to lift my pinky and bar to get that D sounding. Yeah. Right? Now I have an F major 7 sharp 5 chord, major 9 sharp 5 sharp 11 chord actually. Something Lydian sharp 5. 5, 4, 2. All right? And I go over to the D. And then the G7 chord. Followed by the G7 flat 5, the famous voicing that Jobim used. So 3 of E, 3 of D, 4 and 6, that's the G7 chord. Played once, make an audible rest by snapping on the strings. And then the G7 flat 5, 3, 3, 4, 2. I played twice. Second time is actually without bass. Rest, and now I finish with by using the Bossa Nova pattern. And of course I have a video on that. Alright, now is the 2-5, G minor 7. I bar over, play the bass first, and then 3, 3, 3 of D, G, B strings. Let it ring, 5th of the B string, go over and play G minor 7 now, all 4 strings. 3rd of the E string, going to C7 sus 4, that's the A string now, on the 3rd, 5, 3, and 6, C7 sus 4. Move your pinky into the 5th. C7 sharp 9, 3, 2, 3, 4 to the 5th. Alright, I repeat those 2 bars, the 2-5 progression. And now we have a 2-5 in G minor, A half diminished up here. I take advantage of the open A string, then 7, 8, 8, 8. Audible rest. A half diminished down here, 5, 5, 5, 4. Right, 3, 4. Another time just the upper 3 strings. And now I fill up with the Bossa Nova pattern, second bar of the Bossa Nova pattern. D7 flat 9. Here's the D. 4, 5, 4 by barring. I start with the upper 3 strings because that's how Bossa Nova always starts in the second bar. Bass, upper 3, audible rest, upper 3, bass, upper 3. Right? That's the second bar of a Bossa Nova pattern. All right? So, and we're finished with the first phrase at least. So here's the phrase number 1 at slow tempo for you. 2, 3, 4. And here are the last 8 bars of the A1 section. This is house number 1 or ending number 1. All right, before we go to A2. And we start with the G minor 11 chord. Sorry. Here's the G on the D string. 5, 7, 6, 8. It starts on 1 and 1 and. Then I bar over, roll over to the 6th of the E string. Then the G minor 9 chord, here would be the G. Always memorize your virtual root, I call it. Okay, so you can move the chord shapes. 3, 3, 3, 5. Going to the third of E string, right? E half diminished. Now we have a 2, 5, 1 in the key in D minor that resolves to D major, actually. Very interesting. E half diminished. That's a drop voicing. 7 of the A string is the E. Here's the root. Then we don't play the D, but we continue with the G string. 7, 8, and 6. All right? E half diminished. Go to the 5th of the E string. A7 flat 5. We had this on the G already. Here it is on the A. 5, 5, 6, 4. Going to the 5th of the B. And here's the resolution in major, D major 7. Basic jazz chord. Here's the D. 5, 7, 6, 7. Then I bar over to the high E string. Right? Let it ring together. Play the inner 4 strings again. 3rd of the B string, and then D7 flat 9. We had this before and it's the same rhythm. That's the end of a bossa nova pattern. So 5, 4, 5, 4, starting with the upper 3 strings. Bass, upper, rest, upper, bass, upper. All right. So here are the first 4 bars. 1, to the second 4 bars, we have a G altered chord. You need to play this, you need to play this with the thumb in bass. 3rd of the E string, and then I strum over to the higher 4 strings. 3, 4, 4, 4. All right? So, or play it like this. All right? G7, sharp 5, flat 9. This is G altered. 3 of E, 6 of B, 3 of B. Now I strum again, but I don't use the bass anymore. 3rd of E, going to G7 flat 9 chord, which is the same as a D diminished chord. Here's the D, 5, 6, 4, 6. 3rd of B, and G flat major 7. That's an interesting resolution. Or it's not, it's actually a modulation. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's the G flat. Then the B string. And then the lower 3 strings. Right? 3, 4. And the ending is actually also G major, but I changed it to G7 flat 5 because that fits perfectly fine, right? And it sounds alike also. 3, 3, 4, 2. We had this before. Make this short, the first one. That's a typical Latin ending, like in Girl from Ipanema. All 4 strings. Ba, ba. All right, here's phrase number 2, all 8 bars at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Here is the A2 section, and before we can go over to phrase number 3, we have to repeat phrase number 1, which were the first 8 bars of the A1 section. Now we have the second house, which is the second part of the A2 section. Like in the first one, we start with the G minor 11 on count 1 and bar over to the 6th, then G minor 9, to the third. That's all the same as in phrase 1, in phrase 2. E half diminished, going over here. But now we go to the E diminished. So after E half diminished, we now go to the E diminished, which is an A7 flat 9 chord. 7, 8, 6, 8. All right, inner 4 strings. Then the 6th of the B string. And here's the resolution, F6, 9. Or the major relative resolution, actually. Instead of D minor, he resolves to E F6, 9. 8, 7, 7, 8. All right. Inner 4 strings going to the 6th fret and back to the F6, 9. Another time on the upper 3 strings. And now E7 sharp 9. That leads us to the B section. Second bar of a bossa nova rhythm pattern. We had that before. 7, 6, 7, 8 is an E7 sharp 9. You start with the upper 3 strings. Bass, upper, upper, bass, upper. All right, so here is phrase number 3, second ending at slow tempo. 2, 3, 4, 1. Welcome to the B section. Jobim now changes over to A major. So we start with an open A string, and then we add the rest of the chord of A major, and that's the 6th of D, 6th of G, and 5th of B string. Okay, we could also fret this in a normal way, but why not take the advantage of the open A string, because then we can do the melody better. All right, so 1 A string and then everything. Then go to the 7th of the B string, upper 3 strings with the 5th, or again, 7th of the B string, right? Now we change to a B flat diminished chord. B flat on the 6th fret, no A string, 5, 6, 5 by barring. Put your pinky then on the 7th of the G string. Release it again and play the E, D, and G string. So you get the D flat in a melody. Right? Back to the 7th of the G string. And now a B minor 11. We start with the upper 3. That's 7, 7, 7, 5. Upper 3 strings, bass, upper, bass, upper. And now a B flat 7 flat 5. We know this chord already. 6, 6, 7, 5. Upper 3 strings. Then the bass very short. Release the pressure, and then all 4 strings a little longer. All right. Again, the first 3 bars. Now leave your ring finger and move to the 5th fret and slide to the 6th. Okay, so this is your guiding finger, your anchor, if you will. Then put everything around this, and you have your A major 7 again. 0, 5, 6, 6, 5. 7, all strings, 7 of the B again. That B flat diminished again, 6, 5, 6, 5. To the 7 of the G, to the lower 3 strings, 7 again, right? We had this before. B flat, B minor 11 again, all 4 strings. Go to the 9th of the D now. It's best because I often get the wrong string with my right hand, so it's better to stay very close and use your finger that you used for the D string, I guess it's the index, to play that note. And then I go back and play all 4 strings, and then the upper 3. And the rest. And then I reshape to E7. Here's the E. That's a 2-5, by the way. B minor to E7. 7, 6, 7, 5 inner 4 strings, and I play the ending, the last of the 2 chords for a bossa nova pattern. I guess we know it by now. So here is phrase number 4 for you at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, this is phrase 5, and these are the next 6 bars of the B section. We now have an A6-9 and we bar over. We have the A on the 5th of the E string, and I bar over on the 4th fret, and I put my ring finger on the 5th of the B string, alright? So I start with the bass, then I play the D, G, and B strings, then I fret over to the 7th of the B, the 4th of the E, which is laying here with by barring. Now the 5th. You can already leave your fingers, lift your fingers if you want, or that would be cool, but it's a little tricky. But that would be cool if you could leave everything here, then everything keeps ringing together as we want it. I think I usually do it like this. Now I go to the A minor 9 chord. I take advantage of the open A string again and play 5, 5, 5, 7 of the upper 4 strings. Strum through all 5 strings. 5th of the E, 5th of the G string, and the 7th. Then I go to B minor 11. I have a 2-5-1 again, as we had before, all 4 strings, 7, 7, 7, 5. Then going to the 6th fret of the B string, because this is actually a 2-5-1 in minor, okay? That should be a B half diminished, right? But we start with the 11 because that's the melody. 6, back the whole chord, 6 again. Right? And the E7, 7, 6, 7, 5 with the second bar of a bossa nova rhythm. This time the ending is not quarter notes, but 8 notes. So you gotta be quick with the bass, and I don't also play the upper 3 strings, but only the B string as the last note. And then I change over to C major 7. Doesn't resolve to A minor, but it's major parallel. Jobim was a master of having key changes by going not into the major, but into the parallel minor or vice versa, okay? This is one of these cases. C major 7, that's 8, 9, 9, 8. You could fret it like this also, but again, now I need to go to the 10th fret of the B string, and that's better fretting it this way, but this is okay too. But then you would always have to go switch, going back and to the 10th again. C sharp diminished. I'll leave this here. 9, 8, 9, 8. Don't play the A string. 10 of G. We had this before with the B flat actually. Then the lower 3 strings. No A, of course. And the G string on the 10th. That's exactly what we had on B flat before. Now it's in C sharp. And that was it, and here are the 6 bars of phrase number 5 for you at slow tempo. 2, 3, 4. And here are the last 6 bars of the B section. Here we go. We start with the D minor 11 chord. That's here's the D, 5, 5, 5, 8. Then I put the ring finger on the 7th of the G, 8 of B, 7 of G. Let everything ring in together. Going to the G7, 10, 9, 10, 8. And playing the bossa nova second bar. Alright? Now I pick up 7 of G, 8 of B, and 10 of B. Alright, from the G7. Gotta be real quick here. Glide over to the 11th and wrap a G minor 7 chord around it. That's the G here, 10, 8, 10, 11. Move in and get the 10th of the B string. Back out again, all 4 strings. And that A, that's the 10th of the B again. Alright, now go to an A diminished, that's actually a D7 flat 9. 7, 8, 7, 8. With my pinky, use your pinky, really do. Go over to the 6th of the E, because now glide over 1 to the left and you get another diminished chord that stands for D7 flat 9. Excuse me, that's 4, 5, 4, 5. And back to that 6th on the E string. And here's a G7. So upper 3 strings, bass, upper, and a C9. 7, 8, 7, 8. That's also an E half diminished. Here would be the root, okay? So in order to move this to another key, you gotta be aware of where is your root and where does the chord start, okay? C9. And here's the entire phrase number 6 for you at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the C section, the last 20 bars. Well, here's the good news. The first 6 bars are identical to the first 6 bars of A, phrase number 1A. So let's revisit them very quickly. All right, until that C7 sharp 9. The E, and now we went up to A half diminished. We do that now too, but we play A half diminished 11, which means we need the D on top. So that's 7, 8, 8, and 10. And you can, and of course we play the A string too, so we strum through all 5 strings. Then I stop them, and then I play octaves. That's the D flat octave, D flat on the 6th of the G and on the 9th of the E. Now you have this in between. If you do this, it doesn't matter. If you strum like in West Montgomery style, you need to, of course, dampen the B string and also mute the D string by muting it by touching it ever so slightly from below, right? Now put some pressure in your thumb and go over those 4 strings or 3 strings. Then 1 to the left and 1 to the left. So real quickly, all right? Right? Then I I go to its 5 chord, the D7 sharp 5. That's the D here on the 10th. Don't play the A string. 10, 11, 11. So these 4 strings. Then the upper 3 by barring up until that B string. Then a little filler, bass, and the 3 strings up until the B string. So that's D, G, and B. Play twice. Right, the whole thing. Now lift your ring finger and you get the 10th, which is the A on the 10th of the B string, and play it alone. Now let this bar, leave it here, and the ring goes to the 13th of the B string, and we have a G minor 11 now. We know this chord already from the D. Now it's up on the G, 10, 10, 10, 13. Play all 4 strings. Then the bass. And then we have the melody, 11 of B, 10 of B, and 12 of G. Sorry. Again. E flat 9, the same chord we had on the C before, and I told you to memorize where the root is. The root is one right next to that first. So here's E flat, and we start on its 3rd. That's 10, 11, 10, 11 in 4 strings, E flat 9. Then an E flat 7 flat 5. We know this chord already too, had it several times in several keys. 11, 11, 12, 10. Then the G string. And then go over to the 10th of the G string. All right, so from G minor 11 again. Now we go to F major 7, regular jazz basic 7 chord. Here's the F, 10, 8, 10, 9, 10 in 4 strings. Twice, right, with that audible rest. Then the G string and G7. Second bar of a bossa nova rhythm. 10, 9, 10, 8. We know this chord already. Up until here. Then we have a pickup in the next phrase. Let me play phrase number 7 for you slowly. I include the first bars, everything. 3, 4. And here are the last 8 bars, actually 7 bars. The last one is empty, has no more melody, of that song of Desafinado. All right, we start with the pickup on the 7th fret of the G, going to the 9th. And now I shape a G minor 7 shell voicing. That has only the root 10, 8, 10. So that's the root, the 3rd and the 7th, no 5th in there. And then I play, I think everyone knows this, right? So I play the whole chord first, then 1, 2, 3 times the G string, the whole chord again, and the G string. But where you play the whole chord is up to you. I usually play it on, when the chord changes obviously, and on beat 3 or 2 and if we have a syncopation. 3, and here it is on 3. Then I have a G minor 7 chord. I bar over this. G, F, B flat, D. Sorry, but first we need to play the bass and then the rest follows. Then the 5th of the B. We had this actually in the first section. Then G minor 7. And the B string on the 6th fret again. Right? Then I can actually I play it like this: B flat minor 6. Here's B flat on 6, 5, 6, 6 up onto up until the B string. A little filler. 1, rest, upper 3, everything, and upper 3. Make that rest as audible as possible, so you kind of mimic that clave sound of the bossa nova. All right, clave rhythm I meant, not sound. E flat 13, here would be the root, we don't play it. 5, 6, 6, 8 upper 4 strings. 6th of the E, then a little filler with the bass on the D string, and then G and B string twice, right? Then I have my pickup again, 7 of G and the 9th of G. This time not going to G minor 7 but to G7, which means the index is moved inwards. 8, 10, 9, 10. Same figure as before, but on G7. Now I move out to the G minor 7. You may need to put your thumb down for this, all right? Or you won't reach here. Going to the left to the 9th, C sharp, C7 sharp 9. 7, 8, 8. Here would be the root, all right? We don't play the B string, just up until the G string. 9th of the G, and here's the resolution F6, 9. We had this before, 8, 7, 7, 8, 6, and F6. That's the ending chord, 8, 7, 7, 6. Leave this here, so it rings, keeps on ringing, wrap everything around, and go for a nice arpeggiated F6 in the end. And here is the entire phrase number 8 for you at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3. If you're interested in some more Latin style stuff, I have a Latin jazz playlist up here on my YouTube. Also check out my chord melody playlist. I hope you like this video. If you do, so please give it a fat thumbs up, share the love and the knowledge, subscribe my channel, and I see you next week. Servus, baba.